So, what's your name?
Noor Al Nahhas.
Why are we here?
Have fun.
What do you do?
I materialize vision. Nybl. I'm the chief of dreaming stuff up at Nybl.
What is Nybl?
Nybl is a deep tech company that develops artificial intelligence for social foundation. Social foundation industries are the industries that humanity needs in order to survive. All of them are beyond sustainability. So what we're doing is guaranteeing the future of humanity using our technology.
I would love for you to share 3 pivotal moments that shaped who you are today. One from childhood, one from teenage years, and one from your career as an entrepreneur. And these moments may have a pivotal person. Share with us these moments.
I was talking about the pivotal journey that got me to where I was just... From my childhood is very clear, it's my mother and father. I still am. Even my dad jokes about all the gray hairs in his head are because of me. I don't think he's joking, but he jokes.
Wow.
And not because I was a bad kid, but because I imagine what I am now as a child, meaning no boundaries, pushing every limit, doing things. And why I mean my parents is they were never the ones that told me you can't or don't. They always told me of course and do. And I was the youngest, I was the runt of the litter of all my cousins. And so that means I was always playing with people older than me, fighting with people older than I am. So I wanted to do what they did. And so when I wanted to ride a bicycle at 2 wheels at 3 years old, they didn't tell me no, I did it. When I thought of buying hockey supplies from the US in order to sell them to my friends when we played hockey because nobody could get them, my dad didn't tell me no. He brought the catalog and taught me how to order it and price it and told me my uncle will ship it from the US.
Wow.
When I wanted to do the crazy jobs I wanted to do during college, my mom encouraged me and told me. So the two of them taught me, both of them entrepreneurs. My mom ran an incredible school, which she sold to help us grow our life in the US when we moved. My father's run businesses from.
Was this in Saudi Arabia?
So the school was in Saudi, yeah.
Where?
In Khabar.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a kindergarten and early education. She's an educator, yani. She taught me English when we moved from Arabic schools to English schools during the Gulf War. The earliest one, the pivotal people are my parents. This is no doubt.
But how did that entrepreneurial spirit shape you as an entrepreneur today? And I can see that you borrowed from your dad, you borrowed from your mom.
I didn't know I had the entrepreneur. I didn't even characterize it like that that time. But say, for example, during Eid, we take the idea. I told my dad, "Can you take me to go buy fireworks?" And he said, "Haram tahra flusak. You're burning your money." I told him, no other dad is going to take their kids. So I'm going to take my 500 riyals in idea. I'm going to buy all of it fireworks and sell it to the kids that are in the neighborhood. And my dad said, "Let's go. Yalla."
Wow.
So that was that. I always wanted to do more I always wanted to get more, whether it's to hustle or do that. So, but I was also very shy, by the way. I was talking about this until high school. I was telling Hala this just yesterday. Until high school, when we moved from Saudi to the US and immigrated, I was a different person because I got a job. I was forced to change, to bring out who I really am.
How old were you at the time?
16.
Wow.
16, yeah.
16, yani tender age of just getting out of the house and starting to explore freedom.
That's another pivotal moment in the teenage and college years. I think there's 2 of them. This was one of them. Because that's when I learned, are you kidding me? So if I work harder, I can make more money and I can do things. And so, look, we grew up, alhamdulillah, my dad gave us everything, but he also taught me to work for everything. Which as a kid, I used to be very upset about because all my friends, their dad was getting them BMWs I got a down payment for my Honda Civic, and I had to pay the payments and the insurance and the fuel. And if I didn't pay it, I lost the car for the month. He was forgiving, of course. But you can think as a kid, especially in our culture, where every other kid's got a BMW or a Jeep Grand Cherokee, brand new, and I got the Honda Civic, which I wanted, to be fair. I loved that car, and I asked for it, but I had to pay for it. But then when I saw, okay, well, I can work and pay for it. That means if I work more, I can buy more stuff. That's one of the most pivotal moments of my life. And then I did every odd and every job in the world you can think of.
Take us with you to the moment you finally got the keys to your Honda Civic.
That was my birthday.
Okay.
It was my birthday, my 16th birthday. We had just immigrated to the US. So we moved from Saudi to the US in the summer of 99. Summer of 99. Yeah, summer of 99. So we finished school in 99 and moved. And I turned 16 that summer, that August, in 2000, sorry. So we moved then. During that time, my time zone is off. We'd been in the US for 6 months or a year almost. The school had started. And I was looking at cars, and I had 2 ideas of cars. It was all about building them. From then, that hunger for cars that's in me was then. And there was a kit called the Black Widow kit. That I said, I want the Honda Civic because I'm going to put the Black Widow kit on it. We went and saw cars, and then my dad would tell me, okay, we'll see. Not sure when we can buy it. But he said, you're going to have to pay for it. I was like, okay, I'll get a job. And so on my birthday, my grandfather, Yarhamo, they came in, and him and my grandmother walk in, and my grandfather tells my dad, whose car is that?
Yeah.
The black Honda. And my dad's like, okay, let's show him. And so they give me the key and go out. So it was very exciting.
Tell us about how you felt in that moment, the moment the key made it to your hands.
It was really exciting. I couldn't drive. It was manual. I still needed to learn how to drive manual, which I wanted to go do immediately, of course. But it was exciting because it represented something. It represented a commitment I had made. So I was nervous. I have to pay for this now. And I didn't have a job yet. And excitement because it was freedom. Now it's okay, I can drive, because before that my mom was driving us everywhere. And my father was working in Saudi, coming back and forth. And so my mom...
What state was this, Noor?
Texas, Houston, Texas.
Wow, what a state to actually go into as a whole family.
It's nice.
There's a good Arab population there.
And, alhamdulillah, our whole family was there. My father's family, my aunt, my mom's sisters there. So we had a really nice community of direct family. So it was comfortable. But, my mom essentially was doing everything because my dad was coming back every month or so. So to tell my mom I need to go somewhere, take me now, I could do all of that myself.
Man, how interesting. You're currently mimicking that travel schedule in your current schedule.
Yeah. And so I think about that a lot for my daughters. I worry because I'm leaving them a lot. But then I say, I hope that I'm instilling in them what my father instilled in me, which is that to chase what you're dreaming for, to go after what you dream for. I think that's really important. Most people don't get that instilled in them. They're taught to go to school, wake up, go to work, do what you have to do because this is what you've been taught to do. What's the point of life? One of my favorite, I have a lot of favorite quotes that drive me. One of them, I don't even remember who it is. I try searching for it, is the point of life, if you use baseball as an analogy, the point of life is not to arrive at home base safe, clean and saying, great, I'm here. The point of life is to come sliding into home plate, head first, torn, cut up, dirty, and saying, whoo, what a ride. And that's how I want my life to be.
How's that going so far?
Alhamdulillah. I believe that I'm living up to that.
How so? How does that show up in your current day-to-day life?
Everything we do in Nybl, the business, my personal journey, the way I am, and people think it's a fun first. No, it's a life first, adventure first, hard working. So work hard, play hard, although I don't play a lot. But when I do, it's a lot of fun. So I think that's the risk, and it's risk taking. My dad says I have an unhealthy appetite for risk, but I believe that's what you need to be successful. If you, what's my favorite? Another quote, Master Shifu, If you only do what you can, you will never be more than who you are. Okay, so I do what others can't, or what I don't know if I can or cannot.
Noor, if I went around to your closest people, and I went around to, let's call them for now, enemies, adversaries, and I asked them, what makes Noor compelling? What would they say?
I don't have many enemies, alhamdulillah. There's a few that don't like me. I wouldn't call them enemies. I hope my enemies would say, or the people who are, is that I believe they would too, is they don't want to go up against me because you can't beat me down. And I've had a few moments in the past where it's happened. They've tried to, and I've won. Not because I'm better, but because I refuse to be beat when it counts. For friends, I think it would say my joyful, I would believe they'd say my joyful approach, my ability to friendly and hear someone's thoughts without disagree, but also recognize their point of view, but also my dedication and persistence.
What about your answer? What makes you compelling?
My psychopathic commitment to persistence.
Do you know, and ever since I met you, if there's something that I could say impacted me the most, is your unshakable confidence in the future.
Absolutely.
يعني I look at when I met you at Step, when I met you at AI Week or AI Month, when I met you in the office, you're always throwing something into the future. This is pure leading from the front.
Yeah. I mean, you remember what I said then, where we are today. I think this is my superpower, one of my superpowers. Very few people can see so far ahead. Let me rephrase that. Very few people can visualize so far ahead, believe and take the steps. Most people think it's a straight line. The reason why persistence is what makes me compelling is nothing in life is a straight line. You fail a lot. The failures we've gone through at Nybl in every, most people would have quit. We talk about this all the time. Shona and I talk about this all the time. There are multiple stages at which people would have left, quit, bankrupt, no money for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Who would do that unless you knew exactly why you're doing it and where you're going? And so I think that's what is a compelling part, is that, I have no doubt in it. If you have doubt, you're never going to achieve it. And the reason why I have no doubt is not because I'm cocky or is because I know I'm not going to quit.
If I didn't know you, how would I describe you?
Some people think first time they meet me, if it's in a cell, they may think I'm cocky or cold, because sometimes I'm very direct, but driven, ambitious for sure. I don't think that's an understatement. Most people would say I'm driven and ambitious.
Probably even driven in a way that, I don't know, may burn you out at times.
I think burnout is such an interesting topic. It's a lot of excuse for me. Burnout is when you're driving towards something without purpose. It's just like work-life balance. You have to look at the person. If you talk to, my team does this to me all the time. If you came and told me, Noor, you need more work-life balance, you're hurting me. Meaning what? Tell me, stop doing this, don't do that. So you're telling me to stop doing the thing I want to do? This is what I want. Burnout comes from when you can't align your purpose, your vision, your mission, and what you're doing.
What if somebody does not adopt the mission and vision that you have?
Absolutely, they'll burn out. Then they shouldn't be on my team.
I'm surprised you didn't say let's instill that in them, or let's teach them that, or let's work on that for them.
Well, you said they don't adopt it. You cannot force someone. You want to force someone to believe in what you're believing. You have to provide, you initiate, and they either take it or not. Or I'm going to convince you to go on something with me that's going to be tough, and I have to convince you every step of the way. That's not right for you or for me. It's going to be not to your purpose. It's going to be negative to you. This experience is going to be horrible. And to me, it's going to suck too. The best champions we have at Nybl are the people who adopted this themselves. I will put it out. This is what I want to achieve, what I want us to achieve. This is why we are doing what we're doing. We're going to change the Arab world.
But if I worked for you, what's in it for me to adopt this vision that you're putting out there?
We're making a difference. Creating economic value in the Arab world through global export of locally developed technology. Tell me one tech company really selling what they do in the rest of the world versus every other company coming to this region to milk it for everything it has. That's what we do. Today we do that, alhamdulillah. Today we have publicly traded companies of the world, US and Canada, buying our software. That economic value is coming all the way to the UAE. We develop, we build, and we create economic value. That's actual GDP. We are contributing to the GDP by bringing economic value from outside in. How many companies that start here do that? Most of them are milking the money in this economy, sending it out.
شوف يعني I'm watching you and I'm listening to you and I can see the red hot Noor دلوقتي.
Yeah, because it's red hot for me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, because I get so angry and so passionate about the silliness of what's going on. We spend trillions of dollars to give it to the West, this sounds so controversial, the West, to give it outside, and then we complain why we don't have. Why we don't have talent. Why don't we have talent if in Syria a PhD gets paid $300 a month? Of course they're going to leave. Why don't we have an Amazon from here if all we care about is milking money from the local economy? Even the ones that build to be sold to the Amazons and the Ubers. So it's not an exit for the... Look, I'm not altruistic. I want to make money. But I'm doing that consciously by creating value. And that's by doing everything locally, developing locally, engineering, research and development, and selling globally. And today we do that, and we do that really well. Alhamdulillah.
With this vision, what keeps you up at night?
Everything.
Like what part specifically is the part اللي هو you will toss and turn all night long thinking about?
It's funny, I sleep really well.
Wow. What's that a sign of?
Knowing I'm going to achieve it even if there's something happening. Let's not be overzealous. Sometimes I have sleepless nights. It's mostly my people, worrying about my people, my team.
Tell us about that.
Look, take the journey. We were 6 co-founders. Those people, all of them, are the brightest in the world at what they do. Shona, Michael, Sufyan, Hafsa, Walid. And all of them, all 5 of them, did this because they believed in me. And I believed in them. I cannot and I could not do what I'm doing without them. And it's the symbiotic relationship. But they left great jobs, high pay, security, careers to say, okay, Noor, we believe that we can do this, and we trust you to lead us. And so when you go through difficult times, I'm not worried about myself. I'm usually worried about them. Most people think about just the number of employees. I think about the number of dependents.
They're like children for you.
No, I'm not talking about actually, no. I'll get to that. Family. I don't believe a company is a family.
I remember you said that the first time we met.
A team. I mean, every employee has dependents. So they have children, spouses, husband or wife, and kids. So they took a risk to come and join this mission and vision. And if we are not able to pay salaries, it's a risk. It's a risk to their dependents, not just them. So yeah, you have 137 employees, but maybe 289 dependents.
So I want to share something with you, but I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
There was only one time, Noor, I heard your voice tremble.
Yeah.
One time.
Which one?
يعني you've been you're constant, solid, mashallah. One time on the phone.
Which one?
There was a moment, you guys were going through something, and the possibility of not paying salaries. That's the only time.
Which is what keeps me up at night, because that's my dedication to people.
Like that's when I knew, like, oh, this is serious for him.
And it's not serious because I don't think I'm going to be able to. Or it's not serious because I think, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's serious because I know, but the problem is, what does it impact my team? And it's happened. Look, I'm open about it. There's been times where we weren't able to pay salaries. That's what I mean when we were almost ready to fail. But I stay up at night because everyone's committed and dedicated to stay with us. I had my team, literally, several people telling me, Noor, we're here. Please take care of yourself. Because they saw me taking personal effect. And
why is it so personal?
The commitment, man. Those people believe in you.
بس معلش, a lot of people will say the same word, commitment. بس ليه? Why is it such a big deal? الناس بتيجي وتروح and they come to companies and they leave.
لا, مش تيجي وتروح. الناس تيجي وتروح, بس تيجي وتروح or you don't pay them. Their families can't eat.
It has happened.
It happens. I don't like it.
Why?
Because I believe those people, and that's my response. Those people came because of where we're going, because of a vision I've committed to them that we want to achieve together. And they've taken the risk along with me. And my commitment is I'm going to take care of you. And so when I cannot fulfill that, it's very stressful.
You know what? Some part of me is not buying this answer. I think the person I would ask for this answer is Lane.
Lane? Yeah, he'll probably tell you more.
Yeah, what would he tell me?
What would he say if why I take it so personally about not being able, or the challenge of delivering on payroll, for example? Because I care about people. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I don't care if I become super rich, if I've done that hurting people along the way. I don't care if we achieve our vision, if it leaves a pathway of bodies and destruction. I could have done that a long time ago. I could have done that much faster. I could have done that in many unethical ways, believe me. But the reason why is when I put my head down on the pillow, I can sleep every night, except when I'm stressed about my commitment to the team, because I know I earned it. And I thought, and if I did it in any other unethical or way where I took advantage of others or hurt others, I wouldn't have earned it. So it doesn't matter, because it's about me, what I think, not what others see. Most people, they only worry about what others see, which is something we get trained on. External validation, rather internal validation. For me, it's 99% internal. The 1% are the people I care about.
Why do you care about her?
Because I believe I'm very good at things. I'm not good at other things. And look at what Nybl is today. From a brand, that's hella. And so when you have people to come in and believe in what you do, to be dedicated to that vision, then you have to care about them and they'll care about what you're doing. Look at where we are and I can keep naming every member of our leadership team in everything that they do. And that's part of empowerment. You hire incredible people to join your team and you empower them and get out of their way. what's the point of hiring smart people and telling them what to do? If you ask me about marketing, I'd say it's a waste of time and money.
I have an assumption about the true answer behind this, Sarah.
All right.
So the answers that you're saying are fantastic, right? And I have an assumption in when you look at somebody like her, you envision the moment she goes home and what it's like for her to go home. And is she home because she's happy about what she did for the day, or is she home unhappy about it?
And that's why we built Nybl.
And I feel like the end user for you is not the Nybl user. The end user for you is her when she goes home and she's sharing that moment with her loved ones. Something about that.
I say Nybl's not a tech company. It's a people company. We're in the business of people. I said, and I made a post, Nybl's in the people business and business is good. Why? Doesn't matter what we do. Actually, look at all the greatest companies in the world. Not a single one of them is successful today because of the product they started with today. They had today. I don't remember. I think it's LG started with rice cookers, or HP started with rice cookers. And it's a testament to the people. Well, if you make a product, people design and build the product. You provide a service, the people provide a service. We write code, the people write the code. And so if you're not a tech company, you're a people company. Those people create value for themselves and in essence for the organization. So it's actually the entire genesis of Nybl. Muhammad Shona, one of my co-founders, one of my closest friends, he's seen me in my entrepreneurial journey throughout the 3 companies before Nybl. He saw every single one from beginning to up and down and success. And we always talked about how great it would be to work together. And when it came time to Nybl, I told him I had learned in the previous one about a visionary and an executor, and realized I'm not an executor from passion. I can, but I'm a visionary by passion. An executor is a job for me. And Sean is an executor, man, by passion.
He's what the book Traction, they call him the integrator.
Integrator.
He's exactly. An integrator.
The integrator, thank you, yes. So I'm the visionary, the integrator. And so when we spoke about what we wanted to do, his one stipulation was that we build a company where people can't wait to come to work. Not are happy when they go home, can't wait to come to work. Because we'd both come out of situations where we hated going to work. It's about the people, about them loving coming to work, them being happy when they come home because of what they've been doing, not miserable when they come home.
If your daughters were to run Nybl, what would they do differently that you're not doing now?
Well, I think there's still a lot for them I would say I have to answer that as their personalities today because they're so young. Naya's 11 and Hannah's 8. Naya's this super high EQ, very emotionally intelligent, can read me like an open book, very thoughtful. Hannah's the wild, rambunctious, adventurous one. So I think they do 2 completely different things. Naya's the calm, cool, calculated, emotionally intelligent one. Hannah's the risk-taking adventurer. But I think their personalities will continue to mature. They're still so young.
What specifically would they do differently?
Naya would take less risks. Hannah would take more risks. Both of them would make everyone come to meet them. They always tell me, I tell them, because I'm very open with them and I've got to travel. I'm going to be away next week. I have to do this. And Hannah says, aren't you the boss? I said, yeah. So then why are you going to the meetings? Let them come to you. I told you know what? Inshallah, one day.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I love her perspective on that.
And I've seen the way you take photos with them. So I have done some homework. Look, every father obviously loves their children so much, but there's just one of them that you see something in them. And I know مش عايز اميز الاثنين, but which one? You go like, ooh, this one. Which one of them?
The photo or the girl?
No, just in both daughters. One of them, it's like,
No, they're. I used to joke. We used to joke with my mom that my brother is Habib Mama, his mama's favorite.
أيوة.
We used to always joke.
صح.
And my mom said, "No, I love you all the same." And we used to, yeah, sure, but cook Ihab's food as a joke. And I used to joke with my dad that my sisters are. I would get all the rules and regulations and requirements, and my sisters break all the rules. And the youngest one, Razan, اللي بدها إياه بصير. We used to joke all the time. And they always said, we love you both all the same. But I never understood that till I had. Naya, of course, is my blessing. We lost 3 babies before.
When did that happen?
Between 2010 and 2014. And it was very difficult for my wife and I. And then Naya came out of nowhere. Changed my life. So you can't pick a favorite. So that's Naya.
What happened when you talked about the 3 babies that you lost? Like,
all pregnancies that got far along and we lost along the way.
Sorry, what happened for you? Like, where's this emotion coming from?
It's difficult. First, it was very difficult to have kids in the beginning. I had issues. My wife had issues. We both had issues. We had to take a lot of fertility things. Then when you get pregnant after trying all of that and then to lose a baby early on, whether it's in 3 months or 4 months, is difficult. Imagine asking the doctor, is it time? Do you have to bury this kid or not? So I guess I was, in a way, blessed that I didn't have to bury any children. But difficult. So Naya was a blessing. My wife's grandma says, "Into sumtu," and you suffered, then God gave you this angel, and she's an angel. So you can't say favorites, but Naya's this incredible thing, and then Hannah's this full of life energy, so they're both amazing.
I'm honored to see that emotion in you, صراحة Noor. لأنه there's something about that and who you are.
Well, those 2 girls are my life.
I'm surprised you didn't share that as part of your pivotal moments.
I don't think it has anything to do with achieving. How is that didn't define why I'm doing what I'm doing? It cemented it further. Meaning I'm going to give these girls the world. Ensure they never have to worry about anything ever again in their life. But it didn't change what I want to do. It just gave more reason to it.
What does that have to do with your purpose in life?
The world sucks today, especially for women. Let's be real. And so I'm going to play a positive part in trying to make a difference, or at least empowering my daughters to succeed and thrive, not survive in it.
How is Nybl an expression of that purpose?
Look at everything we do, from empowerment to zero. Look, I think there's something really important here. I'm going to say, and some people may take as controversial, but I'm going to say it in the right way. Everyone talked about gender equality and giving equal. I think equal is different than equitable. You cannot be equal. Being equal is inherently unfair to either or. But being equitable is fair. Equitable means what? You actively ensure there are 0 things that stand in the way of women, and 0 things that empower men over women, or vice versa. Because sometimes equal is empowering one over the other. And so in Nybl, what we do is we ensure there's nothing in the way for either. And you can look at my leadership team. I have some of the most incredible women leading in our company. Not because we said we need a woman to lead, but because we said we want the best person in the world doing this, and those were the people. And we eliminated everything, every boundary that's usually unequal to women, but equal for men. So for example, if we wanted to be equal, then either you have to give typically 3 months paternity leave to men or 2 weeks maternity leave to women. Which one is equal? Which one is fair? Being equitable is saying, hey, we have parental leave. Take as much time as you want. Being equal would say to a single working mom, you can't go pick your kids up from school. Being equitable is saying, hey, we're going to gauge you by performance. If you need to do things, go do them. Just make sure you deliver. And that's what we do.
What you just said there and the emotion that just came up, for me, this is really what makes you compelling. This is what I meant earlier when I said, if I speak to you first, the first thing you're going to show me is that you're very much like, remember the man in wrestling, Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
And he hulks up and then he tears his shirt. That's you.
I didn't tear my shirt yet. Yeah.
But deep down inside, there's this guy who's so soft about certain things, specifically with people that matter the world to him.
Absolutely.
What is it about you that takes so long to bring that out first?
I don't think everyone deserves that first. If I care about you, I care about you to this level. But you can't care about everyone to that level. So people have to earn that.
I'm also noticing that the word care,
Let's say care means
but the word care is very big in your dictionary, by the way.
Yes.
It's like if I was
It's
to
not
have
a
a
simple
counter,
word.
it's like maybe 100 times so far.
And care means everything from love, thought, consideration, empowering, growing. Yeah, it's. I think one of the things I'm working on more is being more explicit, because I think very fast and the thought is in my head. The words don't come out always as clear to others. I think you're going to understand. And care is one of them.
Check this out. If I was somehow to go inside your head and pull a lever كده, that I can slow down your thought process, what would come out instead?
I don't know. I don't think I want to slow it down. Just make it more clear.
Just hypothetically.
Yeah.
What would come out?
In what aspect?
You know, I think you've kind of given the answer, sorry, for me. Then in what aspect now? I'm talking to the intellect of Noor.
Yeah.
But when you went silent, we spoke to the intuition of Noor. That. And when I see you, Noor, I want for you more of that in the world. Anta mashallah alayk, you're so driven, so ambitious كده, and you're going to hulk up the moment you wake up in the morning and you're going to do so much. But I wonder what would be like if we could couple that intuition and bring it out first before all this intelligence comes in and kicks in. That moment of silence اللي انت قلتها لي دلوقتي دي, that was golden. Like really, like, ooh, what's happening? I'm behind that.
Okay. But why does that have to come out first? How does that make a difference?
I don't know, let's explore.
Okay.
I'm exploring impact with you and your message and who you really are behind all of this. What would come out? What would it be for Nybl if we showed your intuition first before your intellect?
You don't think that shows now?
I don't know.
Intuition in Nybl?
I'm talking from the person I connect with. Like when I talk to you, I'm hearing brain, do, what, vision. I feel that this points to the self-awareness score we have.
Yeah. The achiever, courageous authenticity out there, discuss the undiscussables, let's go there. And so what would intuition be like in those words?
For me, it would be heart would be having your antennas open and speak through your antennas first, not speak through we're going there.
But don't you think in order to do very difficult things, you have to be able to go there and then bring the intuition out as well? You don't get very far by telling everyone singing Kumbaya and let's be great and lovely, and you don't.
It's fascinating you're saying this, because when we talk intuition and things like this, people think it's about hugging and cuddling and kumbaya.
Then what do you...
I see it more as the general in the field and the general in the tent.
Yeah, so there's a time for each.
I wonder how much time you spend in either.
I believe I do a good job of bringing that right one out when it's required.
How often?
I don't think it's about a matter of often, but it's about when it's needed. If I brought the general in the tent out every day when I needed the general in the field, doesn't matter. It's more often, but it doesn't serve the purpose. If I brought the general in the field out all the time when it needed the general in the tent, it's also. So I believe I do a good job of balancing between the two.
Can you give us an example in Nybl where you balance two?
Yeah. Right now. Let's say the last year was easily the most exciting yet the most stressful part of my life. At the same time, one of the most pivotal moments of Nybl. A very, very difficult time because of growth and the challenges that come with growth, cash flow being one of them, of course. But also balanced with the growth of the success of the growth. And so which one can you be? You're growing, we're going there, but guys, we're suffering now. I think this past year has been a perfect example of that. Meaning being very, the general in the tent, guys, listen, I know it's really difficult. I'm with you. And here's what's happening. Here's why. Here's where we want to do. I understand. If you have challenges, come talk to us. Reem, our chief of culture, and Ed, our chief of people, we're all here to support. Who needs help? Who needs discussion? Come. I'm here. Pick up the phone. Call me. That's the general in the tent. Talking to the different team members myself. But then also, after everyone's understood, like, all right, listen, we're going there. We're going to achieve this. We're going to do this. It's not a matter of if, just a matter of when. And here's the when. Now, I know I've told you it's 2 weeks, 6 times, but here's why I'm telling you. And here's what's important. And here's what happened. But we're going to do this. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, until today, I've not said one thing to my team that we haven't done. And I say we because it's not just me. There's not been one commitment that we haven't fulfilled on. It's been late. Meaning, I'm not talking about, guys, it's going to be solved in 2 weeks and it doesn't, not because of our lack of attention, but because of some lack of our abilities. But there has not been one commitment, and this is what we're going to do, that we haven't surpassed or blown out of the water. So I think there's a really good balance between the two.
Who leaves the tent first into the battle?
Oh, the battle.
Who leaves first after you go, or we're going there?
What do you mean by that? In me or in the...
in that tent, صح? You're having this meeting, you're telling people, what do we need help with, blah, blah. And then at some point, you take a call, we're going there. Who leaves the tent first from all the people inside?
I charge.
Into battle.
I charge the lead, of course. I'm going to take the gun first.
Has ever been an instance where somebody else...
Yes. And I've learned some incredible value because of my leadership team. It happened during 2023, 2024. Look, 23, 24 were pivotal moments. Both years we grew, both years we checked. It was incredible growth, but incredibly challenging.
It's amazing that year was so pivotal. And I did tell our common friend, this guy's going through something, because I met you in 2023.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's going through something. He's not saying it, but he's going through something.
So 2023 is when I went through it and carried it all, and I led the charge and took all the fire. Okay? But also during that time is when all my leadership team stepped up and said, hey, you don't have to do this all on your own. Whether they told me that, why aren't you allowing us to carry the weight with you? Whether they said, stop worrying about us. We're here. We're committed. We're here. Please take care of yourself. Whether they said, hey, are you okay? So I learned that in 23. In 24, I put it into practice. And now it's not a spear. It's a giant bulldozer. That's what, spear is going to pierce through a little hole. That's what I was. Now imagine those giant bulldozers with a huge thing that can destroy anything in its way. That's how we are. Because of that, when I learned that I don't have to just take the fire myself. Yes, I will lead. Yes, I will take the brunt. But I have in line with me, shoulder to shoulder, an incredible leadership team. And that's what, yeah, we grew good, 23, 24, we grew even better. And now, with that, the growth we're doing now is unbelievable.
I'm curious, what's clear to you about your leadership now, since we began this conversation, that wasn't clear before?
The analogy of spear to bulldozer. I came up with that right now. No, but really, and I'll dig deeper into that. The effectiveness of a single person versus, let's say you have a target. And the goal of a target is to destroy it. So a spear can only pierce it. But a bulldozer will destroy it, the foundation it's under, and everything above it. And that's what is really what we are now.
What part of how you're leading your company is still not clear to you in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things?
Not clear on where we're going, or not clear on how to do? Because there's nothing not clear on where we're going.
No, how you do. Maybe a blind spot somewhere.
I like to be proudly say, and Shono says it, if we're not embarrassed of something we did 2 years ago, then either we haven't innovated enough or we waited too long to do it.
Wow. What? So wise.
And so I'm very happy to say a lot of things are unclear. We just do.
So when you're met with uncertainty, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Take action.
What does your gut say usually about take action?
Take action.
Take action.
And correct. Uncertainty, well, you're never going to know. I'm uncertain. Well, decide and do one, and then you'll be certain. And if it's wrong, fine, just switch. And we've done a lot of that. Pivoting, I think, is key to this.
Do you remember the colors I showed you?
Yeah.
So here they are again. Pick one that you thought would help you through uncertainty so much, but then you realize, oh, that didn't work.
Through uncertainty?
Yeah.
Maroon.
Okay.
Tense, anxious, polite, guarded, careful.
So what would have to happen for you to start to feel that way and bring it into the company?
No, I don't. I said, no, oh wait, that I thought would work that didn't, or I thought wouldn't and did?
No, you thought it would work, but it didn't.
Yeah, so I did maroon.
But then it didn't work.
It was disaster. And then I realized, why am I forget? I lost my essence. Oh my God, we're going to be late on payroll. We need to be careful. We have to calm down. We have to figure out, I need to worry about this. And I lost, it was disaster for the company, for me personally, my energy for the company. But then as we said, no, change. Let's go back to red and orange. That's fine. I know we're going to do it. Let's do it. And we thrived.
See, maroon is the one color that a lot of leaders think people don't see, but it can be pretty visual, يعني.
Absolutely. And very, very impactful on them.
How do I know you've stepped into maroon?
That purpose, that confidence, that imminent, immediate decision making, I start to second guess. I don't do that anymore. And I will not do that again.
Wait, I'm so confused. Purpose?
No, it means not purpose. Yeah, you doubt. Not doubt the purpose, doubt what you're doing to achieve the purpose. Am I making the right decision? And it doesn't happen often. It happened once for 2023.
What behavior would people see to actually say, he's doubting now?
We talk about in uncertainty, taking action, lack of action.
Overthinking.
Overthinking, which is useless. Absolutely useless. And I very, very rarely do. I will never do again.
So I want to revisit then with this arc. What is really purpose for you then?
What is really purpose?
Like your purpose, Noor. I'm revisiting that arc for a reason.
My personal purpose?
Yes. That shines through at work, with your daughters, with your family, with friends. That all of this is an expression of.
For me, it's having the power to make a difference for the better in the world.
Hey, Eddie.
This is
That's
my
a completely different answer than what we had in the beginning.
The first one, which is the vision of the company, it's an expression of that. But that's why I asked, is it my personal purpose? My personal purpose is having the power to make a difference for the better. The company is an expression of that. That's one way. There are many other ways as well.
I want to land this plane with you. So we're doing something called the curtain call.
Curtain call.
The curtain call is where you bring different parts of you into the mix. So
okay.
I would like for you to answer the following questions. Yani from your intuition. I want to talk to that Noor.
Okay.
Right? Don't think. Let's go right with it.
All right.
If this interview were to be watched by your grandchildren 30 years from now, what do you hope they take away from this conversation?
To continue the legacy of dedication to purpose and doing what you wish and dream for. That, oh my God, he did it and he went for it and he achieved it. Anything's possible.
What's the one message from your life story that the world hasn't fully heard yet?
The one message from my life story the world hasn't fully heard yet? I can't think of a better word because I'm answering quickly, but trauma is a driver.
Ooh, dive a little bit into that before the next question.
We talked about one of them, the challenge of having kids. I've lost some very close people. Nybl, one of my best friends on earth, died of cancer. My cousin Mu'min al-Atasi. So those people were drivers too.
Here we go again with people. Who do you hope watches this and what do you want them to see in themselves through you?
Anyone who is doubting or challenging or having a challenge or difficulty in pursuing what they want or trying to be grand. And that they realize the only person standing in the way is themselves. Nobody else can stand in their way. That's for real. I think every single person has an incredible person inside them. Most of them don't let that person out because they're afraid of what others think. And what they don't realize is when you let that person shine, you let others shine around you. You empower those around you. Most people are afraid of that because of the way the world is. So I hope that's the people who watch this, and those are the people who get the most out of it.
What's the hardest truth you've had to accept, and how did it shape who you are today?
Sometimes you're wrong.
Ooh. Tough for any CEO to admit today.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. But that's the hardest. Sometimes you're wrong, but it's okay. Wrong, and so let's call it a failure, and being wrong is only bad if you don't learn from it or if you do it again. But being okay with it means being ready to knowing that indecisiveness is worse than being wrong. Lack of action is worse than being wrong. But also don't be wrong in a stupid way. Listen. I get input from my team, my leaders, my mentors. But in the end, a lot of them are looking to me for the decision. Okay, I've got to make that decision. It might be wrong. It's okay. But have I made every effort to make the best decision? Yes. Now, if it's wrong, what can I learn from it to prevent it from happening again or do it for the better? And a lot of the mistakes I've made have yielded incredible outcomes because of that. So yeah, sometimes you're wrong and that's okay.
You remind me of Tony Soprano.
Oh yeah?
When
Okay, good.
when he's not in that way. There's
I should wear my suspenders. Yeah.
There's a scene with his consigliere.
Yeah.
And he tells him, Sil, with all due respect, you don't know what it's like to be number one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But here's what I love about your stance about being number one, is that even number one can rectify.
Absolutely. It has to lead by example, by rectifying.
Well, the reality is in Noor, not many people adopt that mentality.
Because they're afraid to shine.
Because they're also afraid to show vulnerability.
I cannot be wrong. I have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, man. Let's be clear. I'm far from perfect.
So if your life had a single through line, كده, a message that it's been trying to deliver to you, what would it be?
Message being tried to deliver to me?
Yep.
You don't quit. Don't quit. Every time I did, I've quit things before, early on. When I learned the point of not quitting is as difficult as it gets. If you don't quit, you will achieve. And that's what it's taught me.
You're a man of God?
A man of faith, yes.
Yes. I feel that this was, in our humanly way possible of interpreting things, God's message to you when you lost your 3 children.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
Absolutely.
If your work had disappeared tomorrow, what would you want to remain in people's hearts because of you?
That I made them better. That's one thing about Nybl being a people company. I always say this. It's not, and it's my driver, is if somebody enters the company and leaves it at the same as when they joined, I failed. Not worse, the same. And this is what about making the world a better place. So if I can impact anyone's life in one positive way, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
Ta'af, Noor, as we're talking and bringing this conversation to a close, I look at life كده in an interesting way. I try to envision in the most humble, puny, humanly possible way, God's perspective of you.
Okay.
And there was a point in time where God, Amar, spoke to the angels and said, give this guy this thing.
Of course.
It's only for him. And it happened. What is that thing?
I've been really blessed, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. So it's not one little thing. But if you want it to, let me rephrase it. It's difficult to boil it down to one thing because of how blessed I am. But if there was one thing that I could say that was given to me as a gift that I've then developed into a talent, because I think talent and gift are 2 completely different things, is this ability to see far ahead what I want to do or what needs to be done. Every step, not necessarily meaning the ups and downs, but every positive or upward step required to achieve that. And regardless of what happens along the way, not quit while doing that. I think that because it's a summary of everything I've experienced in my life. And you did it really well. I never thought of this about not quitting before. You're so right. Most people either can't see, they can't visualize, they're not able to commit and stay dedicated to through challenges, or they can't see how to get from point A. They can see what they want, but there's nothing, they cannot materialize or visualize what's going to take to get there. It just seems unrealistic. There's nothing unrealistic for me to achieve.
You're right, and for me, what I got from our time today, if this was a movie, about this character called Noor Al Nahhas. It would be called something like Ain't a Quitter.
Anti-quitter?
Ain't a Quitter.
Ain't a quitter. Okay, I love it, yeah.
I definitely see that your big message in the world today has a lot to do with care and people. And I feel that for you, that message extends to people that you haven't possibly cared for yet but want to.
Absolutely.
I also know that a lot about your purpose has to do with your essence and power. Not necessarily taking care of others. Take care of others is your what, but your why seems to revolve around what is this power that I have and what is this gift and talent that I can use today without flexing, but in a humble way I can give to others. And that's for you is Nybl, that's your daughters, your family, your parents, your friends, Shono, all of these people are taking that in. But what really stuck with me today, Noor, is your ability to fluidly shift between different versions of you depending on the situation. And that, in my opinion, at least in my philosophy, is your ability to really be a great leader. And I'm not just saying that because we're having an interview. بس ما شاء الله عليك, man, you know, like ربنا ادالك حاجات كتير جدا جدا. And I'm so humbled by how well you wear this. It's not simple. It really isn't simple. But you wear it so well.
I appreciate that. I do. I'm proud of that. But I also take it as a responsibility. So I think that's part of the reason. Yeah.
Thank you
it's
for
very
your time.
confident. Thank you.